right, we have Jordan Leavitt back on the show, and this man returned to action on Saturday in Mansfield, Ohio. He picked up a unanimous decision win over Izzy Williams at BCM Promotions Fight Night 8. Jordan, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm digging the shirt right now. I feel like Christmas is around the corner looking at that thing. You're like a candy cane.
Yeah, that's my Christmas jammies.
And this is why it's great to have you back, man. Congratulations on the win. You took on your most experienced opponent to date. You get the unanimous decision win. How would you grade your performance overall?
I'd say like a C+.
Why a C+?
Well, it's just I was a little too loosey-goosey. I think maybe I had a issue with the rehydration after the weight cut, because I had all the cardio, but I had no explosiveness that night, so I kind of had to play it extra safe. I feel like I pulled guard a few times because I just didn't want to explode out of a unbalanced position. I was a little too relaxed. I watched the fight. I'm very happy with it, but I should have been able to push a little harder, I think.
But it is nice to at least be active. You're having a hard time finding fights. You essentially issued an open challenge to all 55ers, and 2 months later, you're back in there getting another win. How exciting is that for you that maybe we're turning the corner here, Jordan?
I know, it's very exciting. I mean, I didn't have anything really to bring to the table for a lot of people. I mean, I had like one or two wins. No one wants to lose to a good guy who has that small of a record. So now it's just getting easier and easier, I hope. Don't want to speak too soon. But, yeah, hoping to get a fight in the next month or two. I'm not hurt. So hopefully I can get two more fights before the summer. That'd be amazing.
Your last couple of fights hadn't gone past the 90-second mark, and this time you do go the distance. You mentioned, maybe the rehydration was an issue. Your explosiveness wasn't quite there. But what else did you take away from going the full 15 for the first time since 2018?
It was nice to know I know how to pace myself now. Like when I'd be in top positions, my first time I went to decision, like in my second pro fight, I was scrambling too much. I was like, I have to do something now. But this fight, I was able to get top position, then I'd wait for a second and then go. And I was just very aware of the time. I'm like, okay, I probably have about 90 seconds left. I'm just going to put pressure of my head here for a second. I'm going to grab his wrist and just wait. So it's nice to know that, like, I could go 3 rounds without being gassed. I guess you should be gassed at the end of a fight because you're supposed to put all your effort into it. But it's nice to know that I can pace myself, because I felt fine after the fight. Wasn't really too out of breath. But, yeah, the experience was nice. I'm happy I was able to do it.
How much notice did you have for this fight?
A little bit under a month.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, luckily I'm one of the few people that could actually make New Year's resolutions and keep them, because I was like, I'm going to lose some weight, going to get to like about 165. So I was already, within 15 pounds. So everything worked out perfect because, I didn't have enough time to give up on my New Year's resolution yet. So
not many of us can say that, Jordan. I assume Izzy was the opponent the whole time, like no crazy story about a last-minute opponent you had to seek out at weigh-ins this time around?
No, not at all. I saw him at weigh-ins. I saw him make weight. We both made weight. We squared off. And I'm like, they can't switch it now, I hope.
It's another nice, refreshing change of pace, is it not?
There was nothing surprising. It was like nice promotion. BCM did a good job. Good fighters. It was a nice matchup. It's his hometown, so there's that, a little bias for things. But, yeah, it was super simple.
Did you enjoy the trek from Vegas to Ohio?
Oh, no. Oh, gosh, no. So I've, saving money, poor college student. So I'm like, fly out on a red eye, land, and then the weigh-in's like 6 hours later. So, like, no sleep. You're all dehydrated. I'm all, like, ornery and stuff. So then, make the weight. And then in Ohio, you can only gain 10 pounds until the next morning. So, don't get to pig out. I get to basically just drink a gallon of water and some protein powder. So, hungry. I go to sleep. But then the hotel beneath me, I guess there was water on the floor. So they thought our hotel was leaking. So they woke me up at like 3 a.m., So I have like no sleep. So the hotel wakes me up at 3 a.m. on fight day, like banging on my door like the police. And so I like wake up, like it's leaking, and I'm like, no, it's not. So they run into the bathroom. I'm right. And then they just leave. So I didn't get any sleep on fight night. The traveling part sucked. Everything else is good though.
All right, so there was some craziness. It wouldn't be a Jordan Leavitt fight without at least something crazy happening.
Yeah, it wouldn't be fair to my opponents, I suppose.
That's true. I saw you post on Instagram last week. It was a photo of you and Roxanne Modafferi, who was helping you with some ground and pound techniques heading into the fight. And after her performance against Maycee Barber, not a bad person to learn from. How much motivation did that win over Maycee Barber give you and the rest of the team?
It was awesome. Everyone was counting out Roxy. She was a huge underdog, and like it didn't make sense to any of us that trained with her, like why she was such a big underdog. Very experienced. Maycee had not really shown any bottom work, and Roxanne is a really smothering top game. Doesn't get enough credit. Like her ground and pound, her elbows from top half guard, her elbows from mounts. I knew I had something to learn, so I reached out to her, and she's been teaching the team some of the moves too. But like that was a good way to start off the year. It brought some good confidence coming into 2020.
Yeah, I was talking to Jasmine Jasdavicius before her fight at CFFC, and she said like a bunch of your team all got together to watch that fight. Were you part of that group that watched the fight? No,
I was on my own at Buffalo Wild Wings, arguing of, other drunk people. Talking crap to them because, oh yeah, that girl's due. I have got money on her, so I'm talking crap to him the entire time. So, she's in a fight. I'm about to get in a bar fight over being some smart A. I was in the group, but I was having a really fun time.
What was the craziest comment you heard at Buffalo Wild Wings? Because normally it's people who don't fight. They probably lift a lot of weights, maybe are on some of that synthetic stuff, and they think that they're fighters. They could do it better than you guys and gals. What's the weirdest, craziest, zaniest thing someone said to you at Buffalo Wild Wings that night?
Oh gosh. So after Roxy's beating her for the entire round, and like that round ends, he's like, I'm pretty sure Maycee was just letting Roxanne get tired. I think she, back, and she's gonna go in here and knock her out. And then when she went out there, and her knee popped after she was avoiding a jab, but he's like, I still think she might be like playing possum a little bit. And I was like, dude, you're losing your money. Like she's screwed. And so it was that one guy I was having a nice little back and forth with.
Were you guys cool after?
No, but that's my fault. I think that's my fault. I teased a little bit. And when you put something, when you lose it, you have the right to be a little angry. And I don't think you want some young 20-something like, you lost your money. Like, it's my fault.
Did you get to watch the rest of the card there?
Yes, I did. I don't remember the rest of the cards, but it was a nice card.
So you didn't poke and prod too much. You didn't kick you out of there or anything like that.
No.
How much? I'm curious because I kind of creeped on your social media a little bit, but how much does social media help you? I mean, especially watching other fighters who post different things, like guys and gals you may look up to. It's nice to find, I guess, some positivity in a space that can be really negative most of the time. It looks like you may have found something there. How much does social media help you?
That's a good question. It's nice. I don't follow a lot of fighters because I feel like a lot of people have a persona, like their fight persona, and they have to play the part on social media. And so up until like the past few months, I've hated social media. I felt like I had to be like some macho fighter guy. I had to talk crap, be cocky, or like, no one could stop me. I'm a beast. I was born for this. Don't call it a comeback. All that overly dramatic crap. Like, never met any person in real life who talks like that was bearable. So I just been completely put off social media. But then, after my past few fights, people have, started to like me. And always been insecure about that. So like when I'm weird, I'm outgoing, but I'm not exactly like some tough guy persona. So I learned that if I just, write what I would actually say, people will like me for me. So it's actually kind of brought a nice level of, I think it's maybe a little bit more confident knowing that I could be myself and people still find me interesting, as opposed to just being a carbon copy of UFC tough guy, number one, UFC tough guy number two, and I could just be like completely different character. And it's nice to know that I don't have to just conform to be liked.
And you're not really alone there, are you? I mean, there's some high level guys in the UFC who kind of take the same route you take in terms of social media. Who are some of the fighters that you follow and maybe get some inspiration from?
Oh, Roxanne. Her her Instagram is basically just like like very positive message. She posts pictures of her socks, like she just herself, and her fans love her. I'm like, oh, I'm always like, I can't be like that. I don't have like my niche fan. No one cares about how weird I am, but I'm learning that, I can be myself and still be popular. But yeah, definitely, I think only Roxy's really comes to mind when I think about like social media fighters, social medias that actually kind of inspired my kind of social media strategy.
So now you got 2 wins over the last 2 months and change. You're 5-0 overall. When would you like to get back in there? Anything stick out to you that's piqued your interest, so to speak, in terms of the calendar?
Oh, I was hoping to fight this weekend, but I hurt my foot trying to kick this guy in the face, so I've been limping all week. But there was this right after the fight, my coach was like this, how do you feel about 170 this weekend? So I'm like, we'll see in a few hours. We'll see how swollen I am. But I was hoping to fight this weekend, but everything can't be perfect. But as soon as possible, I'd say, looking at my foot right now, I'd say a few weeks. I'd be down the fight in March, April, or May. Hopefully, like, I know for sure May, because there's a card in Utah I'd like to fight on, so I don't have to travel so damn far. But I'm free to fight anywhere after the next 10 days. I'm down.
So I was told that not only are you a fighter, but you're also a substitute teacher. Is that accurate?
Yes.
So I got to tell you, and I'm sure I'm not alone on this, you're much younger than I am, and I don't know how it is today because I'm obviously not in high school or wherever you teach, but when I saw a substitute teacher in the classroom as a kid, I mean, it was like high fives all around. We knew there'd be movies and free time and maybe some games, stuff like that. How would you describe your teaching style?
I just kind of say like, hey, I'm here to collect a paycheck. You're here to get your grade. I'm a visitor in this realm, so just be respectful and we'll have just a nice good old time. Okay. I was in high school 6 years ago, so I'm not going to try to act like, oh, this is what you're going to do. I'm the adult. It's like, dude, like, I have friends that are their age, so it's not like I feel weird like being that authority figure and stuff. That's why like middle school kids, they're more heinous, but they still see me as an adult. High school kids, how old are you? If I'm like cleanly shaved, like it's totally different. So I just have to, I don't like making high school kids angry. It's a lot more threatening, I feel. It's like, dang, like this dude's like angry. I tell them to put away his cell phone. They look at me. I'm like, you know what? Just keep your cell phone. You're right.
No problem. I'm collecting my... So basically your mentality is just don't be an a-hole and we'll get along just fine.
Yes, 100%. Like, I'm doing roll call and I can't pronounce their name. I'm like, okay, so what's this name? Because like you say someone's name wrong, like it's pronounced this, and I'm like, how the heck would I know? Like, high school kids get angry over the weirdest things, and I don't remember being that way, but it's nice to get a little view into that.
Have you had to deal with an angry student yet?
Not too angry, not too belligerent. I think I'm really good at just kind of blowing off snarky comments and just moving past it. But no really bad students yet. I'm just gonna instantly call security. I'm just take that phone off the line and wait to look at it.
I was also told that you want to do a lot more reading these days. You want to read 70 books in a short time frame. Is that true?
Yeah. 2 years ago, I read 100 books in a year. The year before that, I read 56 books, but the goal was a book a week. Yeah, I'm just trying to keep myself busy. I feel like when you have goals that are time consuming, it actually kind of blesses you with more time. You're more aware of it. So like, yes, I probably have a few thousand hours of, well, I do have a few thousand hours of reading left for the year, but I feel like when you're focused on, what's it called? Productive things, you have more time.
I got to make more time for reading. I'm doing a terrible job with that, honestly. Like, I think the last book I read was maybe 4 years ago. It was Justin Wren's Fight for the Forgotten. It was because I was interviewing him like the following week, so I wanted to at least read the book and talk to him about it. But the book is phenomenal. What do you recommend? What should I read?
There's this one book which I'm on like my third time reading. I've read it for every reading goal for the year. It's called The Courage to be Disliked, and it's kind of like a self-help psychology philosophy book. And it's basically the book is basically saying everyone could be happy, and I'm totally sorry. It's the morning. Everyone could be happy. You know, your happiness is all your fault, and the way you view life. You know, it says like trauma cannot define you. It's a nice little self-help book, but The Courage to be Disliked has really helped me. It's like the first book I ever read that I'm like, dang, this like describes my mentality already and stuff. Basically, you'll find happiness if you stop worrying about what other people think and let it stop letting outside things affect how you're going to be. It's a very good book. It's like a Japanese, it's like a book that was originally in Japanese. It's like a dialogue between a young guy and an old guy, and he's telling the young guy how to be happy. But yeah, The Courage to be Disliked, amazing. Born to Run, which is about ultra running, also amazing. I love that book. I read it like 7 times. Yeah, and a lot of Stephen King. I like Stephen King a lot.
I was going to ask you. It doesn't really surprise me. You seem like a Stephen King kind of guy.
Mm-hmm. Very weird, and a little dark, but that's kind of fun.
It is fun sometimes when we're trying to find the light. It's nice to, find some fictional darkness, so to speak. But in terms of your fighting, ideal situation, get another one sooner rather than later, maybe in May at the latest, and then fight potentially in your backyard at the UFC Apex on the Contender Series. That seems like the right road to take at this point.
Yep. I think my next fight I'm going to strike more. My last fight, I landed my first punch on the feet, like really, and I kind of boxed him up the second round. So I'm hoping this next fight, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll become a knockout artist.
Look at you.
I'll just abandon grappling. Yeah. I'm trying
We're evolving.
Yes. Just trying to, show all my skills, land some punches. Yeah. Knock someone out. Yeah. That's the plan.
There you go. Another victory for Jordan Leavitt on Saturday. Someone to keep an eye on for sure at 155 pounds. Jordan, appreciate it, man. Always enjoy you coming on here and giving me new perspectives and leases on life. Before we let you go, let the folks know where they can find you on the web, social media, shout outs, anything else you want to get off your chest. The floor is yours.
Oh, no, I'm just thankful to Syndicate MMA, my team. They're amazing. Couldn't do it without them. My wife, Ashley, who's asleep right now, but super thankful. You can find me at Mr. Jojo Monkey King on Instagram, and that's my info.
I meant to ask you about this, bringing up the Christmas pajamas. I spoke to Chris Curtis a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking briefly about the Syndicate MMA holiday party, and he said it was one of the most ridiculous things he's ever been a part of. Were you there?
Not this past year. But no, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's arm wrestling and very violent water balloon fights, and oh gosh, it's fun. Fighters need to blow off some steam, and it's a good time. That's for sure.
That's amazing. Thank you, Jordan. All the best to you. Look forward to seeing what's next for you, man.
All right. Thank you, man. Thank you, Mike. You have a good